go up this hill here. Oh man. All right, this is pretty good for a cargo bike. But with this cargo bike, I feel like I can definitely use this without my hands on the handlebar. And normally can't do this with a cargo bike, but just to give you an idea of how smooth this is. Looks like there might be a hard stop at 31 miles per hour again. So, what's up, y'all? So we received what might be the best. I guess I call these like urban street bikes. I say that because they're not as they're not as compact as like moped style e-bike. They don't have like a motorcycle style front fork, but they're not long enough or big enough to be considered full-size e-bikes, so I call them like street bikes, you know what I mean? And they usually have like a built-in cargo rack, so we might have received the best street bike. I say that because this bike has a 48 volt, 30 amp hour battery, advertised to go 130 miles of charge. We're gonna test it out, me and my brother and fellow e-bike connoisseur who came in clutch today. 30 amp hours is a lot. Usually that takes up to 80 to 90 miles of charge. 130 seems a bit much, but we'll see. This bike is also advertised to go 30 miles an hour, but what I like about this bike so far is it's advertised to have a torque sensor. I love torque sensors over like speed cadence ones because they take into account how hard you pedal. The speed sensor is just trying to get you to the maximum speed for whatever mode you're in, so you barely pedal and the bike can just send you flying. So if you're in mode 3 and you're supposed to go 24 miles per hour, you can barely pedal. It's going to send you to 24 miles per hour. Torque sensors are much more comfortable because they take into account how hard you pedal, you know what I mean? So this bike weighs 116 pounds. Maximum weight of the rider is 450 pounds, which makes sense because, again, it does have a built-in rear rack. I think it's going to have a cushion on there where you can ride with a passenger. This bike is called the Victrip MIMAS. I hope I'm saying that right. I think it's MIMAS. He's saying it's MIMAS.
You don't hear the name Linus?
Linus?
Yeah.
No. To purchase this e-bike, feel free to use my link and my code in the description below to get a discount. What we're going to do is we're going to unbox this, put this bike together, go through all of the features, and we're going to go on-road, off-road. We may go to like an urban area, see what that's like. I think this is like an urban bike. And see, is this the best like street bike that we received? I am still doing my e-bike giveaway. You want to be included in the giveaway, you have to be subscribed to the channel. You have to live in the US, and you have to comment below on what type of e-bike you would like. A street bike like this one, a full-size e-bike. If you comment below, let me know. I may be sending one of y'all an e-bike. All you can do is rely on him. So we got this bike out the box. Looked like it was packaged pretty well. There's a lot of wrapping on this thing, you know what I mean? Look at all this. So I highly doubt that anything is damaged, but I guess we'll see. So this is what the bike looked like without the wrapping. It doesn't look like anything was damaged. So it does look like we're gonna have to put our front wheel on. And I don't know the brand of tire this is. It doesn't show on the tire, but this is a 20 by 4 inch all-terrain wheel. And the tires does seem a little slicker than I would like. This bike also came with 2 boxes. We're going to go ahead and unbox one of the boxes now. So it looks like we have our pretty standard but beefy headlight pedals, which are labeled. And we have a bag of wrenches, which includes some Allen wrenches that I don't think I'll use. They're kind of short, you know what I mean? This bike also came with a manual. Let's look into this real quick. Instructions seem pretty straightforward. I always like it when they include pictures. Look like the manual also go through your advanced settings. It also look like there's a tutorial video that you can use to help put the bike together. This other box has our 30 amp hour 48 volt battery charger in it. So we're also going to have to put our front fender on. This we're going to put behind the rear rack just in case you ride with a passenger. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our front wheel on. So where does the front fork go here? It's hard to tell from the instructions online or the instructions in the manual. So So yeah, I guess you take all of the washers off and you just put the front fork on both sides here, and then you put both of the washers on. Then the nut go towards the end, I guess. So we're now going to go ahead and put our handlebar on. So we are going to have to turn this around this way to face our front wheel. So that means we're going to have to align it. So that means we're going to have to unscrew this. And we're also going to have to unscrew these on the side after we spin it around. So first of all, it looks like we have an adjustable handlebar stem. I always think this is a great idea because that means this bike can accommodate not only different riding postures, but also different heights of riders. I'm going to explain this real quick. So you're going to unscrew these just a little bit in order to lift these up, and then we're going to put that in these holes and then push the seat up. And then there's another screw that we put here when we have the seat on here. We're going to put that in here to secure the seat on top of the rear rack. We got this bike put together, only took us about 30 minutes. This bike does seem a bit short, fresh out the box, but the length of this bike is pretty much standard for like a street bike. It's about 5 feet 9 inches from wheel to wheel. The seat at its lowest point from the floor is about 2 feet 9 inches. And the handlebar is fully adjustable. Again, I think that's a great benefit because not only can it accommodate different heights of riders, but it can also accommodate different riding postures. You loosen this up here. Whoop, yep, that's it. And then you get it at the angle you want. We're going to go ahead and push it up, more up like this, so I can be in a more, I guess, commuter style posture. Again, looking forward to how these tires are going to perform in our off-road test. They do seem a bit slick, but we'll see. Now, I will say this bike does look more like a cargo bike, a true cargo bike, than more of like a street bike. All of this reinforcement you have around this rear rack here, I'm thinking that can probably handle over 100 pounds. Look at that suspension. And look like we have two suspensions in the back. And I usually like coil suspension over air suspension, but I've had this suspension on an e-bike before. It did deliver on that e-bike. So if y'all look at this rear suspension, it has some pretty good rebound. We also have suspension in the front of the bike, but looks like we can just either open up the suspension, we have it open now, or we can lock it out. Let's say you're on a flat surface. We're gonna go ahead and open it up. Give y'all a look at this front suspension. Have a look at our rear and front RSX hydraulic brakes. And don't know the millimeter. Nice wide handlebars, especially for more of a cargo street bike. It's about 2 feet 4 inches wide. Looks like we have your standard rubbery grips on your handlebar. We have your standard Shimano 7-gear shifter. Seat is a bit wider than most. It seems pretty comfortable. So, and again, we do have an additional cushion, which is also kind of comfortable in case you want to ride with a passenger. But we don't have like footboards for that passenger, so you would have to install them yourself. We have some level of anti-theft. This bike came with 2 sets of keys. One of those set of keys is to turn your bike on. You need to turn the key that way. Now you can turn your bike on. The other set of keys is if you want to remove your battery, you put the key in here, turn it, and then you can take this battery out by pushing this up. And if you do want to charge the battery while it's on the bike, you just plug your charger in here. I'm now going to go ahead and turn this bike on. We're going to press and hold the plus button, and that turns my pretty standard display on. And I've had this display on several e-bikes before. Looks like we do have a panel over here. That is our pretty loud horn. If I click this button, that turns my standard but pretty bright headlight on and my rear light on. And that rear light is also a brake light. If I click this button, that turns my rear turning signal on, which is pretty noticeable. And you can turn both turning signals on at the same time, I guess, to make it look like you have hazard lights back there. You know what I mean? We have a twist throttle for throttle only. Look at some of the basic items on your display. We do have our battery life at the top. Look like we have to charge the bike a little bit. Our speed calculator, pretty sure you can change that from miles per hour to kilometers. And our pedal assist modes. And if we click the plus button over here on our panel, looks like we have 5 different pedal assist modes by default. Look like we have some more information down here. That is our, I'm gonna click the I button on my panel. Look like that is my trip mileage. We haven't ridden the bike at all. Click the I button, that's our odometer, maximum miles per hour on our last bike ride, average miles per hour. We're not gonna go through the advanced settings, and I'm not gonna go through all of them. Again, they are in your manual, but to go into the advanced settings, you're gonna press and hold the plus and the minus button. If you wanna go from one setting to the next, you click plus or minus. If you wanna change your setting, you click the I button. This first one is how do we want to calculate our speed? Do we want to do miles per hour or kilometers? We're going to keep it at miles per hour. P03 is how many pedal assist modes we want. By default we have 5, or we can change that if we want to. Keep it at 0 through 5, but from here if I click the I button again, you can change how much power you have per pedal assist mode. P06 is your limit speed, so how fast can you go on this bike? We're going to make sure we're going as fast as we can. It looks like that says 32 miles per hour. I guess we'll see, right? P09 is your pedal assist sensitivity. And I always think this is a great feature. I think every e-bike should have this feature because you might be using this bike for different purposes. You know, you might want less sensitivity to actually get a workout in. You might want more sensitivity. Let's say you're taking this bike to work. You don't want to be funky when you go to work, you know what I mean? So you might want to ghost pedal. So I think every bike should have this feature. Usually the lower you go, the more sensitive it is. By default, it's at a 2. Pretty sure that's going to give us a little too much sensitivity, so I'm going to go ahead and change that to a 4. Again, these settings are in your manual, so feel free to go through those.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
So, Victrip cargo street bike, what are your thoughts?
This is a good bike. It literally rides like a street bike.
Okay.
Pretty fast.
Okay.
The pedal assist is great. I really
I know pedal assist.
pedal assist on this. Like,
Okay.
I don't know, Victrip, you outdid yourself on the pedal assist.
On the pedal assist?
Perfect. Not too much, not too little. It's just right.
So what would you give the pedal assist on a scale from 1 to 10?
That's a 10.
It's a 10.
I think the brakes are really good on this one. The suspension, the tires were good. The suspension was okay.
Okay.
I give the suspension like a 7.5. A gradual speed. So
Okay.
if you want to go fast, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. The throttle is gradual, so
Okay.
it's perfect. Not too much, not too little.
Did you feel really safe on this bike?
Not when I was trying to turn.
Oh, you don't like the turns? No?
I get a seat like a 5.
Okay. So all in all, what would you give this bike on a scale from 1 to 10?
I give this one an 8.
8. All right. So we're not going to try out these all-terrain tires. We're going to go through some gravel, see how much grip is on the tire. First, I do want to mention that there was something wrong with the original battery that came with this bike. The port that you plug the charger in was sunk in a little bit where I couldn't reach the battery with the charger. So they sent me a couple of chargers, but then they just sent me a whole new battery. So it took about 3 weeks. Now, does that mean the customer service is going to be great for you? No, but it was great for me. So we're going to go through some gravel now. Just a little slipping, I ain't gonna lie. It did rain yesterday, or this morning, but it should be dried up now, so. All right, not crazy slippy, but a little bit. Let's go ahead and brake here. Yeah, a little slipping, but Nothing too crazy. Hopefully I don't fall. Let's see. These tires are grippy enough to lean, but I'm 50-50 on whether I'll be leaning on this bike, although it is low to the ground. Tires are grippy enough because the pedals are so low to the floor. So, like if I turn here, like my pedals are almost hitting the floor on that turn. So the only way I will be leaning on this bike a whole lot, although the tires are grippy enough, only way I'll be leaning on this bike is if I'm in the middle of a turn, I'll bring my pedals parallel. So we're not gonna go off-road with some hills. Gonna test out the tires, but also test out the suspension. Honestly, so far so good. Go up this hill here. Oh man. All right, this is pretty good for a cargo bike. All right, you can definitely tell this is not like a all-terrain full-size e-bike, but let's keep going here. Oh, that ain't bad. I'm actually surprised because I don't have coil suspension in the back, which I usually like, so I'm surprised. Okay, the suspension better than I thought it would be, honestly. Definitely taking out a bit of the bumps and cracks that you would get when you're going off-road. It's pretty good considering the size of the tires and the suspension I got. And the fact that I don't have like a suspension where you can adjust the compression in the front. This is all right. Yeah, it's taking out enough of the bumps and cracks to make off-road somewhat comfortable. Let's go down this hill here. Not bad, all right, not bad, especially for a cargo bike. So on a scale from 1 to 10, I give the suspension like a 7. So I know I changed the pedal assist on this bike from a 3 to a 4, from a 2 to a 4. I will say the pedal assist on this bike is pretty perfect. And this is why I love torque sensors, because I feel like it takes into account how hard you pedal. Look like mode 1 takes me up to 10 miles per hour. I'm gonna stop and go to mode 3 here so I can show y'all this pedal assist. Go to highest gear here and check out. So the pedal assist started right away, but it didn't send me flying. It's going based on how hard I pedal. So this is comfortable for me. I feel like I'm still getting the workout in. I do feel like the harder I pedal, the faster it goes. To me, that adds a lot of comfort to your bike and a lot of stability to your bike. Look like mode 3 takes me up to, look like, what's this, 18 miles an hour. Go ahead and brake here. Great brakes, I love the brakes. I am 5'11", 6 feet with shoes on. This bike is a little low for me, the handlebar at least. But the good thing is the seat can come up pretty high. But if I was to keep this bike, I would have to get a handlebar extender, even though I already have it up as high as it can go, because you can't adjust the handlebar stem. But with my height, I would need a handlebar a little bit higher, kind of forcing me to be in a more aggressive style posture. But it's pretty comfortable though. This is not like those folding bikes that are on like a vertical swivel handlebar. So I'm not worried about this handlebar spinning out on me at all. It's pretty stable. In fact, this bike is so stable where, although this is a cargo bike, I normally can't do this on a cargo bike because of the dimensions are usually kind of weird. But with this cargo bike, I feel like I can definitely use this without my hands on the handlebar. And I normally can't do this with a cargo bike, but just to give you an idea of how smooth this is, and my alignment is a little bit off. Like I have to adjust my alignment a little bit. Still feel comfortable. I do have to balance it a little bit, but this is pretty good for a cargo bike. So we're not gonna go max speed pedal assist. So I'm gonna get out of this turn and then I'm gonna gun it. See how fast we can go and pedal assist. So 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Look like there's that hard stop at 31 miles per hour again. So, but I tell you, this is a very comfortable bike when you're going max speed. I'm not gonna go max speed, throttle only. See how fast we go. Look like we got to 24, 25 pretty quickly. 26, 27, 28, 30, 31. Look like there might be a hard stop at 31. And while I am in the street, I do think if you do want to take an e-bike in the street, I'm not encouraging you to do that, but if you did want to take an e-bike in the street, I think this is a great bike for the street because they have all-terrain tires. You do have full suspension. It is very comfortable, easy to maneuver, and you got all the bells and whistles, the turn signals, the headlight, the rear light, all that cool stuff. And it has some size to it, so the wind doesn't sway me. So I think this is a great bike for the street if you want to do that. And it has some speed to it, right? But also I think this is a great bike for more urban areas because this handlebar can spin 360. So you can make some pretty tight turns on this bike. Again, you do have to look out for the pedals. They are kind of low to the floor. Not the craziest ones that I've seen regarding it being low, but it's pretty low. So because the handlebar can spin 360 degrees because it doesn't have like a motorcycle style front fork, you can hit the pretty tight turns like this one. And because the bike isn't super big, you can go through some pretty narrow walkways. So you can easily avoid people and things on this bike because of the size and because of the handlebar. So we're not gonna go max speed, throttle only, up a hill. This is a pretty steep hill. There's like a 35, 40 degree hill, and the hill also has a turn on it. So we're gonna see how much speed we lose going up this hill. And right now going into the hill now at 28 miles per hour. Let's see how much speed we lose here. All right, in the turn part of the hill now, still at 28, okay. 27, 26, all right, 23, 22, 21, in the steepest part right now, 19, 18. All right, look like we lost 10 miles per hour, which is pretty standard. We usually lose like 9 or 10 miles. Victrip cargo bike. If you truly consider this a cargo bike, I would say this is probably the top 2 cargo bike that I've reviewed on this channel. If you consider this more of like a street urban commuter bike, then I would say it's in the top 5. What I like the most about this bike is the battery life. I went on an 18-mile bike ride. I spent 5 of those miles in max speed pedal assist. I spent 1 mile in max speed throttle only. The rest of the time I was in mode 3 pedal assist. In that 18 miles, I still had all of my battery bars. So that's definitely 80 miles per charge, if not more. I love the comfort. I definitely could use this bike without my hands on the handlebar. I even like the suspension, which I normally don't like on cargo bikes. I love all the bells and whistles, anti-theft key starter, headlight, rear light, turning signals. I love that you have over 8 advanced settings where you can change things like your pedal assist sensitivity. So yeah, I love pretty much everything about this bike for a cargo bike. Again, the original bike they sent me had a battery that was a little damaged. So they first had to send me a couple of chargers, thinking that was the issue, but then they eventually sent me a new battery. So the customer service was, I'll say, decent for me, but that does not mean that it's gonna be decent for you. Good thing is that battery is standard. So on a scale from 1 to 10, I would give this bike a 9. Comment below on what you would get this bike on a scale from 1 to 10. Any other e-bike you want me to review, also comment below. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.